د معلم نجیم احمد دا او زه د کلیر وایس سره د پښتو دری او د اردو ترجمان په حیثیت کار کوم. What makes a good interpreter is the ability to make two parties communicate with each other and make it seem as if the interpreter just melts away into the background and make the two parties communicate with each other as directly as possible, but still being there to make sure that everything is taken care of, problems are solved, and the point is put across. Initially, it was about making connection between languages, something that I have done for a very long time. If you somehow become multilingual, then there's always a need for you to interpret from one person to another. That was the initial motivation to be good at what I do. But since I have done work with Clear Voice and over the last year, I've worked in different scenarios, and I must say, working in these scenarios and seeing people getting results and their problems solved and just the expressions, I think the motivation has changed in that regard, that now that's what motivates me more. My native language is Pashto or Pahto as we call it, my native language of Afghanistan. Apart from that, I speak Dari, Urdu, Punjabi and English. The idea that you are becoming an adapter between two parties. The language barrier, as I've realized, is not just an expression, it is actually a real thing. And when you see two parties that cannot communicate with each other because of language, really a lot of misunderstanding can happen. So what I enjoy is to actually be there and make that seamless between them and see problems being solved and just people getting over hurdles. It also means that you meet and you get to interact with people of all backgrounds. Clear Voice has been an agency that I signed up for foremost before anybody else, and it is also the organization that I've done and I still do most of my work with. It has taken on a shape of a family really, because everybody that works there knows you personally. You're not treated as somebody that works for someone or an agency or an organization, but you're treated as you are working with them. So flexibility is there, respect is there, their client base is varied, and in very short amount of time, I managed to get a lot of experience and exposure. So that's all I have to say. My recommendation to anyone who wants to work with Clear Voice is that this is something that they should definitely give a try, simply because of the onboarding procedure being very good and very immediate, and them understanding what your points are. My own personal experience says that you will be able to hit the ground running very quickly and actually work with a team that provides you with work and support straight away. In this current day and age of lots of agencies losing what it means to be an agency, it's good to know that there is somebody still working on that ethos, and that's what I appreciate about it, and that's what I would recommend. I have learned a lot. I've learned the fact that there is a lot of people that need help, that need assistance, and more importantly, there's a lot more people that are actually providing help and assistance. But I would say as a person, it's definitely made me have more empathy, patience and understanding. So everybody individually coming to you, thanking you, shaking hands with you and being happy, I have never walked out of an assignment without a smile on my face. It feels good, but I'd rather not try to throw superlatives around on that one. Let me just put it this way, that having worked so far, one thing that I have noticed is that there is a lot of individuals and organizations that are helping a lot of people, and they're going above and beyond to do that. It'll be conceited of me to not mention them, so just to know that I'm a cog, albeit a very small cog in that procedure. To put a superlative on it, it's fantastic. There will always be a scenario, I have come across it myself, where there will be an individual who has never worked with interpreter before, but I would give them one very small recommendation, and that is trust the professional. You know, the interpreter sitting next to you is qualified in doing so, and their experience in the work field has taught them to pick up on anyone's cadence, rhythm and conversation. Make sure you let them know that this is the first time you're doing this, and just go with your conversation, have your own rhythm, and the professional will just pick it up with you. Most of the clients that we work with they are quite good in facilitating you, and most of them have a lot of experience in that as well. But just to give you a little run of the agenda before the interpreting starts, so you have an idea as to what kind of situation you are walking into, which most of them do. Apart from that, just being attentive of if their speed is too high or too low. But more importantly, as I said before, an interpreter should just blend into the conversation. As long as you get an idea of what kind of situation you're going into and how you're going to be interpreting, a little background is always good. Once the interpreter comes in, make sure you ask them as many questions as you can. The interpreters aren't just a person who's doing a language A into language B, but that's also a person that has a varied experience of cultures as well. So it's always a good idea to pick up on that, and it's just better for all parties. So Clear Voice, as not just being a freelance interpreting agency, it's also an organization which is part of Migrant Help, where the system is symbiotic basically, and it's an organization that doesn't just provide work platform to interpreters to then work, but then it also channels that revenue and that help into the organizations that help people in that regard. So it's a system that actually creates work by helping the people that need it in that regard. And that is something very important. It is even doubly important and good to know that actually goes on much further than just sentimental help towards the people that need it.